The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
I'm here with Amalie Bryde. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to also, first of all, ask you about your new single, Lay Down.
What would you like to ask me? This song is it's a commentary on what it means to be a woman in the 21st century and on equality. But when you look at it in terms of what I'm singing, the song is about me saying no to this guy who just wants me to be his booty call. And we've probably known each other for a little while, so he thinks it's cool to text me, but I'm saying no. The song was written back in 16 in a session I had, and it's just been in my demo for a long time. Back then I was singing and all I got to do is lay down, lay down. So I knew that the song had to be something about laying down. And then in 19, when I met Glenn Scott, he wanted to produce that song and we finished it. So I ended up writing the lyrics as it is today. And then I was so privileged to then dig even deeper into this subject about saying no and women having to lay down. So I met up with Luke Logan, who's the director of the video. And I was like, okay, so this is where the song takes place. It's at a bar. And this guy's texting me when he's out with the guys, but I'm home, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want the video just like that. I felt like it would just be another kind of those old school R&B ones where you're at a club and dancing. And I felt like, nah, I need something more Solange. I need something more abstract. And I want to dig deeper into this. So that's where the commentary on the gender inequality comes in, because the video shows a drone shot where I'm in the middle, and then you see all these other me's or other women which are attached to me. And you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? But it just means that setting boundaries, there are many ways within, like some women feel the need to lay down, whether it's politically, religiously, or that whole Me Too campaign, getting to somewhere. And as a woman, it's sometimes really hard to set those boundaries because we want certain things and we've been taught, oh, sometimes in order to get something, we might have to sacrifice a little bit more. So I want to provoke that message. And so at the end of the movie or the video, we all get rid of the rope and we're free and we're standing up on our 2 feet and we're not accepting these circumstances. So that's what the song is, and how it became had so much power within such a simple idea, which has been a wonderful journey and really fun.
Was that always the plan, that it would have that end in terms of how powerful it is, or did it just happen that way?
It happened that way, but because it just started off being about, as I said, this guy I'm saying no to. And it was not till I had the video, I was like, this is more. This is more than just this matter. And I want to figure out what I didn't know at the time. And that's when I had the meeting with Luke Logan, the director, and Glenn Scott, who was the producer, joined that meeting. And we're like, okay, how can we figure this out? And I was like, okay, I want it to be outside, and I want this open field to show my freedom and my vulnerability, and how sometimes you also feel alone about this. Like, you see me, just this little me in this huge field. I was like, okay, I have that idea. And then we just started brainstorming, okay, what other situations are there where women feel the need to lay down? And that's when we came up with that idea of showing different versions of me, because we started off wanting to have a scene where there's a prostitute, or there's a scene where it's at work, or it's a scene, but then I didn't have the budget to do that. And that's where the abstract and more stylistic and fashion came into place. We're like, okay, how can we grab onto this in a more abstract way?
Such a powerful subject. And
it is,
100%. And I think the single is great.
Thank you. Yeah, just myself been in situations within this business where I felt I had to lay down in order to get what I wanted. I've been told that I didn't show enough skin on my Instagram and that's why I didn't have followers. So it's stuff like that. When we started having this conversation, when we had that meeting over Skype, I was like, man, I am one of those women. It's not just when I get a text that I have to reject. It's so much more.
I think it happens without people even realizing.
Yeah.
It can often just
And
be
that's
like,
another thing.
once I
Yeah,
decline it.
definitely.
Yeah. I noticed on your Instagram that you are quite good at deconstructing like processes of your songs and how you put them together and the process and how you got there. Is that a new thing to you? And how does it feel to be like sharing all your secrets in that way?
It's so funny because I've never been, when people ask me how I did things and stuff, I always just told them. And I never thought about sharing them on my platform because it's always been about, showing your artistry and what you have done and just more the product, not so much the process, but just the product. And then I just thought to myself, this is a huge thing and I've put so much time and effort into this. Why not share the process of me making this? And also just to share how much it's not just about it's about the music, but it's also about the thought behind the music and why I do what I do. So that's really interesting also for myself to share that.
And why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I love having. I ask a lot of questions. That me as a person, I'm a questionnaire. I've always been that way, and I keep asking these questions. But why do we do that? And why is that way? And why am I acting this way? And then music has always been such a huge part of me since I was a kid, and expressing myself in that way, whether it's my own message or it's other people's writings. I was in musicals when I was a kid.
Cool.
And it's a way for me to express myself. It's a way for me journaling, and it's a way for me to have this conversation. And sometimes I would just ask something. This is this song it's not a question when you listen to it, but it is a question that I have, like, why are we not saying no? I don't want to lay down, that kind of thing. And this is basically just my calling. This is what I do. And I know it sounds so cliche, and I really sometimes don't even like saying it myself, but I've been asked that question quite a lot, obviously. Why do you make music? And I'm just like, there's no other, it's always been pointing this direction. Everything I've done since I was a kid has been within performing, writing, singing, dancing. I was dancing professionally for some years, but I always came back to writing and singing. Even when I was dancing, people started to figure out, oh, you can sing, and then they wanted me to sing in the performances. So it's like the universe is like, look, you're supposed to be here.
I wonder how it could end, 'cause you said it was you and me. So I don't think we should talk. When you are in my life, I'm not able to be present. Memories are in my eyes, trying to keep the past in the dark. But you light it up when you hit me all night. But you light it up when you push me aside. I don't know who we're letting us down. I wonder how it could end. 'Cause you said it was you and me. So I don't think we should talk. Always answer when you call, 'cause this love I hate to suppress. I kissed all your open scars, now there's pain left right here in my chest. And you light it up when you hit me all night, and you light it up when you push me aside. I don't know who are letting us down. I wonder how it could end. 'Cause you said it was you and me. So I don't think we should talk. I saw potential in you and I believed in you. I still did, even though you you identify me with the things that I did and didn't do. I thought would make it through. Move on and grow from it now. You did a big mistake leaving me. How? When all I did was believe in our vows. You had your chance to get me back now. You beg not to lose me to the black, 'cause you're on the wrong track. You still want your snack. You weep while you sleep. I know you're too weak to take you back just like that. I don't know and I don't even care. You ask me if you should give up hope. How dare you love? Please learn to cope. It's funny how you broke up with me, but I have to cut the rope. So I don't think we should talk. 'Cause you said it was you and me. I wonder how it could end. 'Cause you said it was you and me. So I don't think we should talk. I wonder how it could end. 'Cause you said it was you and me. So I don't think we should talk. 'Cause you said it was you and me.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
Also on Instagram, you mentioned that if anyone who's female wants to get advice on production, writing, etc., then they should get in touch with you. Is that something that's come from you within, in terms of because you didn't necessarily get that advice and now you want to give it to other people?
The advice I've gotten is from men, and I've actually only worked with men. I've never worked with a woman or a female. And there was a lot, all of a sudden, I was proposed all these posts and data about how few women are in the business. And I was like, shit, that's so true. When I look at, there's this management I started working, well, I worked with some other artists, and I looked at their page and they had like 10 artists signed and they were all men. And I see other labels, I see the top, billboard, men, 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 woman, man, man, man. And as I told you earlier, I've experienced as a woman being told that I'm a bad investment because I'm too old. That I was 25 at that time. That was when I came to London. And before I was like, what the hell? Are you telling me that I'm too old to do this now? How dare you saying that that has something to do with who I am. That's just a number. It has nothing to do with anything. And that's when I realized, okay, there must be other women out there that have been going through the same thing as I have. And if I can't support people like me or women like me, or at least have that helping hand and guidance, and maybe I can help them skip some steps along the way, I'd be happy to do so. I feel like it wasn't even a question, like, and especially because we women tend to, because there are so few of us, we tend to envy each other and jealous, like we're so jealous of each other. So we even have a hard time collaborating because we're like, oh, you might take my spot. I don't want that because there are not many spots here.
I find that astonishing. I really do.
And it's
crazy.
Maybe it's just in our, even when we were kids as women, we kind of tend to like, I was bullied by this girl when we were kids, and it was just truly based on jealousy because I hung out with some people that she wanted to hang out with, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same even when we're adults. It's just not bullying the same way as when you're a kid. So we women have a tendency to, like, we don't really like batteries. We're kind of like, ugh, we don't want to connect fully.
Yeah.
I really hope that someday we can just, not someday, I just really want us to work together because this is silly.
What would you say to someone that was like new to the industry, female, and wanted to be involved? Like, what words of advice would you give them, like, on that level?
Ask questions, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Ask questions, because you would be in situations where you might think, is this right? It's so important to have people around you that support you regardless of what genre or whatever you do. So I just ask questions, because that's the only way you can learn. Because if you just accept whatever is fed, like whatever you get fed, then yeah, I could have easily just accepted and just heard or lived by everyone's perception of who I am. It's not till I started asking myself question like, why am I doing this? What am I trying to say? What is my profile? What is my voice? How my voice now has an impact, even though, yeah, I don't have 10,000 followers or something. Everything I do, because it's in the public eye, I have a voice. And I think if you can, ask questions to that as well, it's so important.
Definitely. You only took the plunge to move to London like a couple of years ago. What was it that made you make that plunge, and how are you finding it?
I love it here, regardless of the lockdown. I'm so blessed to be here. I've never been more happy and so content in my own like company. Because
are you totally on your own right now?
No, I live with 2 other people.
Okay, cool.
But when I lived in Denmark, and I love Denmark to bits, and it's a beautiful country, I wasn't around like-minded people. Everyone was on their own. Everyone did their own thing. And to get involved, you really had to prove yourself. And everyone was like, oh, if you fuck up, that's it. You only have one chance. That was the mantra of the industry in Denmark. And you easily got judged or something if you did, because there's so few people and everyone kind of knows each other. So I didn't have joy with making music. I felt like it was always a competition, and it was always about making a hit. It was not about just, let's have some fun. Let's see what happens. Let's see where this takes us. We have no idea. Where when I moved to London, within the first couple of days, I went to an open mic, and one was like, oh, you're amazing. I have this guy and he's a saxophone. I think you guys will be a good match. And then before I even knew it, I had a phone number of someone I've never met or heard about before. And I would text this guy, and then we would meet at some jazz session, and I'll meet someone there, and then I'll jam with them. And all of a sudden I felt like I was an artist. Like I was eating it, I was sleeping it, I had it in my veins. And it was not because I was eating it as in Denmark, where you're like, oh, I have to perform and this has to be it was just like, this is so relaxing. Like, it's not, I don't have to prove anything. I just have to, let's just have some fun. And that's just been amazing. It really has. And there's so much in terms of even fashion and diversity, and there's no such thing as wrong or right. You can do whatever you want to do, and I admire that so much about London.
What is it, do you think, that makes it feel like there's less pressure?
Because people are just going their own way. They're just doing their own thing. Like, and there's so many ways of doing it. There's no, even when you hear podcasts, we're live with Tomish and Jordan and stuff, it's even they are saying, you know, there's no right way of doing things.
I guess also because there's more of it going on as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, I moved here essentially because of the music scene and the amount of venues. I knew that what I was missing in Denmark and in general with my artistry was performing. And in Denmark, there are no small stages. It's only like the smallest stage is like for 200 people or something. And I knew, okay, I can't pull that off at that time. So it's like, where can I go? And there are not really any bars. There's some like one open mic, but everyone is like, oh, open mic is very like embarrassing and awkward. So it's like, I just want to go somewhere where I don't know anyone and I can go and perform every day if I want to.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's not warm when he's away. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, and he's always gone too long. Anytime he goes away, wonder this time when he's gone. Wonder if he's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime he goes away. Anytime he goes away. Anytime. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. There ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's not warm when he's away. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. And he's always gone for too long. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. 'Cause he's always is gone for too long. Anytime he goes away, anytime he goes away, anytime he goes away.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
I wanted to chat to you also about loneliness. Obviously, like everyone is in a similar situation in the UK at the moment and over the last year because of the pandemic. And different people have been coping with loneliness like in their own way. You obviously wrote something on your Instagram about wanting people to share if they're lonely and stuff like that. How have you found it, and what are your tips for people that are lonely?
Such a great question, and it even got me emotional when you asked me that question.
Oh.
Because loneliness is so many different things. Like, I live right next door with a great friend of mine, and she feels lonely even though I'm right here. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And I can feel lonely because I don't feel like I have people around me that understands me. Or you can be lonely because you don't have a boyfriend like you're supposed to have. Or there's so many nuances and colors of loneliness. And for me, I very much felt it around end of November, beginning of December. It was such a strong feeling that I didn't really recognize the same way. And for me, coping that loneliness was I do journaling, and it's kind of part of my writing process. Sometimes when I write and I do my writing exercises, it pops out like this question of mine or something that I'm worried about. And then I can look at it and reflect on it. But it's really difficult sometimes because sometimes you even know you're like, I know I'm lonely, but how the hell do I deal with it? It's not like I could just stop thinking, oh, I shouldn't be lonely because I have all these people. Like, it doesn't really work that way. But for me, it has been actually reaching out myself, because what my issue was that I felt all of a sudden that people didn't care and everyone was lonely. And so if I talked about my loneliness, they wouldn't be there to just listen because they got their own shit going on. But I was thinking these things and I thought to myself, why don't I just call them? Like, why don't I call them? I keep talking about people. I think that people don't call me, but I'm like, do I call them? No. So I started calling people and I started having group chats with my family, like on the voice. And I started working out with my mom on FaceTime and started doing these things where it's like, okay, how can I incorporate people in my daily life without taking out, everyone is like, oh, I don't have an hour to talk to this. And I was like, okay, no, I can see that, but how can I incorporate them in my work? So for example, maybe I can sit and work and then someone can be on the FaceTime and they're working, but we're just together. So it's not like I'm completely lonely, but I can all of a sudden laugh about something and I can share it instantly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's all about your internal feelings as opposed to whether there are people around you or not physically.
Yeah.
I think you can have so many people around you but still feel lonely, because it's all about
But you had
internal
to
feeling.
like, what I realized was I had to also tell them how I felt,
100%.
you know, and say, and just be like, I know I'm repeating myself, but I feel like shit, but thank you for being here for me. Can we talk about it, please? Or just be like, I don't feel like talk about it, but I just want to, you know, if someone asked about me, you know, how you doing with your day? I'm like, I actually feel like shit, but can we talk about this? You know, I feel like I need to talk about something else.
Get that. Do you find writing as an outlet?
Yeah, definitely. The best outlet for me is actually when I just play the piano. That's actually another way of me sometimes figuring out what's actually going on in my head. I would put on a beat, put on a track, go for a walk, listening to some instrumental music, and then I just start humming words or sing melodies.
You make it sound so easy.
I know, but I think again, you have to remember that I do this every day, and that's why it's easy. it's like, if I am to learn something, you have to do it every day. And I've done this my entire life. So I get, yes, it sounds easy,
I
but
was just walking down the street and I write
it's just
some.
like, for some people, they can just rap. I can't rap. Or some people can write these codes or whatever. Like, it was just, you know, if you've seen Mr. Robot, you're like, how the hell do you remember that code? It's because they have done it for so many years. But yeah, it's an outlet, definitely, because sometimes I'm like, oh, what is that sentence? Where did that sentence come from? And will start something.
Get that. What tunes have got you through the last year?
What tunes?
Yeah.
Everything from actually Chris Brown, Go Crazy. Every time I put it on, I just want to dance. Like, it's
Nice.
insane. Music, and there's another great song, like just disco, old disco.
Yeah. Cool.
Stuff that just made me want to smile and dance regardless of what mood I'm in. That's just, yeah, it's amazing. That has definitely helped me a lot. What else? Music wise, there is this philosopher called Alan Watts, and there are some tracks with him on Spotify. It's very electronic, psychedelic kind of thing, and then he's
Cool.
speaking in between. That actually has got me through some deep shit.
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts, yeah.
Okay, I'll check him out.
Like, check him out on YouTube. Another guy called Ram Dass. Those two guys have, like, Stoicism, I forgot about that in terms of loneliness. Stoicism and those two guys have helped me so deeply going through all this.
What about you and what you're working on at the moment? What can you tell us about that you're working on?
I'm working on right now my next releases. I have another single coming out the end of February,
Yeah,
which is a part of an EP that's coming out within 2-3 months. I'm not going to say more than that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll look out for it.
So I'm working on an EP right now. So now I'm actually working on the third video for the third single of this EP.
Amazing. And we can hear about it in a couple of months?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
This
Cool.
one, the next one it's next level, in my opinion. I'm very, very proud of both the song and the video. It does the same as Lay Down. The song is one thing, and then the song is very romantic, like heartbreaking romantic.
Okay.
And then the video is like, is this good? Is it actually romantic? I love it. So yeah, it's very exciting.
And if live music was a thing tomorrow and there wasn't a pandemic and you could play anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I actually don't have a stage thought out. Maybe I should start doing that. A venue. Some people have asked me that question. I'm just like, whatever, just give it to me. And that's how I feel right now. I'm just like, okay. If there are 20 people, I'm happy. If there's 1,000, I'm just ecstatic. So whoever will have me, I'm like, yes.
Okay, and who would you want to be on stage with? It can be anyone, dead or alive.
John Mayer.
Okay, cool, nice. And if people want to find out more about your upcoming EP, find out more about you, where can they go? What can they do?
They can find me everywhere, Amalie Bryde, and on socials it's Amalie__Bryde. They can find me everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and hopefully when things are a little bit more normal we can get you in the studio.
I love that. Obviously. And thank you so much for having me. I really love what you do and the consistency with using your studio. Yeah, but you're doing a great job keeping things up.
Oh, thank you.
Speak soon.
I don't want to put you when you're a part of the crowd, while you're at the bar on your hunt, texting, baby, you're all I want, and you say that to please me, and you say that to please you, and all I got to do is lay down, and all I got to do is lay down, and all I got to do is lay down. Oh, all you want to do is lay down, 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 lay down. Don't know if you're broke or bored, so I don't wanna show, 'cause you make me feel bad saying no. Say, baby, come on, you make me whole, and you say that to please me, and you say that to please you. Oh, and all I get to do is lay down, and all I get to do is lay down, and all I get to do is lay down. Oh, all you want to do is lay down, 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 lay down. This brings back memories. Please respect the boundaries. We won't different things, bad luck, 'cause you're just in it for aid. And all I get to do is lay down, and all I get to do is lay down, and all I got to do is lay down, and all I got to do is lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down, yeah, yeah, yeah. And all I got to do is lay down, and all I got to do is lay down, lay down.